Everybody's Joe from Papa Jobo's, and today we're going to be talking about Season 4 of Ozarks, a nasty dumpster fire of a season. I'm going to tell you, first and foremost, I'm going to give spoilers in this. I liked Season 1 and 2. I gave them first season 8 out of 10, second season a 7 out of 10. Season 3 really fell off for me. I give it maybe a 4 out of 10, and Season 4 is a generous 1 out of 10. It was awful. Again, I'm going to talk about spoilers. This is a show that should have ended with Marty Byrde taking Wendy out back to any sort of woodland area in the Ozarks and ending her. And then after that, ending himself, because he is a complete cuckold in this. This show, let's first talk about the wokeness. There's plenty of it in here. The biggest part of it, the biggest message in this is that men are stupid and women are great. Men are always dumb and women are awesome and powerful. That's not patronizing at all to women, let me tell you. It's a show that also has a bizarre message about voter fraud in it. This is a family and a woman, Wendy, who commits murder, supports men who commit horrible crimes against women, fraud, embezzlement, cheating, stealing, cuckolding, child abuse. The list goes on and on and on. She's done it all, but she holds her line somewhere, guys. Let me tell you where that is. Voter fraud. Voter fraud. You can't have any sort of voter fraud in Wendy's world. That is where her morals start. You will never get her to do that. But everything else, yeah, it is so myopic. The minutia, the myopic point of view there is so dumb that it actually hurt my brain a little to watch. Let's get into, look, so the woke stuff aside, and there's plenty of it in there. Again, it's just a constant rip on men. There's an actual line in there that references the patriarchy, saying we have to put up the appearance that the patriarchy is still in charge, essentially. It's so demeaning to men. It's disgusting. And of course, if you're if you're a rich white guy, you're wide open for ridicule in this show. There's also so many plot holes in this. The first one that I want to talk about is just real simple. It's when Mel Sodom, a very good character who I'll talk about in a sec, he has a picture of the cartel's assassin. I forget his name. I think his name might be Mel too. But he meets with Ben at the diner and then gets Ben to go into his car. And then oddly, Ben follows because he knows he's going to be killed. Doesn't put up a fight. Doesn't try to stop it. In fact, he enables Wendy's behavior by saying, tell her I'm sorry. Tell her I'm sorry and I forgive her. And then he gets blasted in the head. It's absolutely disgusting to watch. But here's the plot hole. There's a scene where he shows them a picture where he shows the assassin walking towards him. Well, why doesn't he have the picture of them meeting in the same spot, Ben and the assassin, and then walking to the car? Don't know. They don't even address it, and they could have addressed it with 1 or 2 lines just to make it feasible that Mel Sodom wasn't a complete idiot. But again, men dumb, men bad, so you're an idiot, Mel. Let's get into Mel Sodom and Maya, the two, and there's 3 moral characters in this show that I really actually kind of liked. Maya, the FBI agent, who is just a morally good do-gooder, and what do they do with her? They write her off. They don't even do it well. They just put her in the background and say, go away. That's it. I think there's one line that explains why she doesn't do it. She's scared of the cartel or something. Absolute horse crap. Someone who's been written with that strong of a moral character that she's willing to do a massive drug bust on something that she knows is going to get her in trouble isn't just going to walk away. But they wrote it that way because, reasons. And then take Mel Sodom, probably the best character in the entire show for me. He's a guy who does have actual real world problems that he is able to overcome and starts doing good things in the world. He has integrity. He has morals. He has good core values. And he goes on to be absolutely summarily executed by another character who is also a do-gooder. And that character is my third good character, Jonah, who for the entire show is written as someone who hates his mom, knows his mom is evil, knows his mom is the worst person in the world, and he's going to do everything to stop her. And what does he do in the end? We get Ryan Johnson in the end on this. he turns up at the end dressed like Wyatt Earp and stops Mel Sodom, who's presenting evidence to the Byrdes that he's going to bring to whatever district attorney, and finally spill the beans on these awful, horrible human beings. What does Wyatt Earp Jr. do? He pulls out a shotgun, the screen goes black, and boom, you hear the shotgun blast. He joins his family finally. Inexplicably, the character assassination of Jonah in this is ridiculous. It would have taken maybe 2 seasons to get that sort of turnaround like that. It is such a dumb storyline. It is asinine. Marty Byrde, a guy that I liked in season 1, and I really thought it was going to end with him doing something to finally get back at his horrible wife who cuckolds him and hurts him, belittles him, calls him names, damages him, cheats on him, gets him to get into the worst situations possible. They have a gringo go down to Mexico and become a drug lord. Not happening ever. It's not even feasible. Doesn't matter who's behind it. He would have been shot in the head immediately. It's asinine, but his wife's like, yeah, go for it. I thought that at some point he would turn around, and there's one moment where you think it's going to happen. One moment. And it lasts about 5 seconds. And then he goes right back to being a cuckold and a simp and dumb white man bad and woman awesome always. Yeah, not patronizing at all to the women watching the show or to any women in the world. Why is it happening? Because Hollywood is on an apology tour for all the awful things they did to women and children in the past. And so how are they trying to overcompensate for it? They're throwing this message into everything. And they're so unself-aware and so full of hubris and ego that they can't even see how horribly patronizing they are to actual women by doing that. You can write people with flaws and actually show them make mistakes. It's ridiculous to watch how they wrote women in this, and it's demeaning to them. Let's get into Ruth real quick. She ends up being shot at the end. There you go. It's so dumb. It makes no sense at all. I got to tell you, the way they wrote her for the last season, I didn't even care that she died. I knew she was going to. I was 100% positive when it happened. I was like, yeah, okay, it happened. That's going to happen. But she wasn't even written as the same character. For some reason, every time they showed her, they'd play some stupid rap music in the background. I'm like, okay, like once, twice, okay, that's fine. But every damn time you show her, what's the message you're trying to get across here? But then there's also some really cringe moments. Like there's a moment where the 2 cartel leaders, Navarro and Navarro's sister, I think her name's Camilla, are like fondling each other in the freaking hospital, like, oh, brother, sister. You're like, what are you guys doing? Can we back up on the, the crappy stuff there between family members? That was weird and cringe. Oh, and then we can get into Wendy, the worst character I've ever seen written in a show. She's evil, she's horrible, she's corrupt. She deserves her comeuppance, and she's going to get it. No, she's not. She doesn't. She wins. But why does she win? Here's the problem I had. The writing is purposefully subversive and worse, manipulative. It manipulates the audience, trying to get you to care for her. There's a scene where her and Ruth become best friends for some reason. Seriously, her and Ruth, best friends, because Ruth figured out that her dad was mean to her. He was a mean daddy. There's accusations that he hit her. They don't even show any scenes to back it up. This could all just have been made up by her. Do you realize that? That her dad abused her. Now, let's pretend that he really did. Even if he did, does it justify what she does? Well, in the writers and the director's mind, yeah, it does. See, look how nice she is. Look at why she's acting this way, because she was hurt in life. Oh, I get it. Oh, I get it. You can act like an absolutely terrible human being because you were hurt in life. I get it. You can be a child abuser, a murderer, a cheat, a whore, a floozy, someone who does horrible things to other people because your daddy was mean to you. It is such a weak story plot. And the fact that Ruth and her become buddies, what? Ruth hates her. She should have been the one to shoot her in the end. Actually, I think it really should have been Marty, like I said earlier. That's how this should have ended. But yeah, it was bad dad's fault, all of it. And it's justified. That's what the writers want you to think. They manipulate you. It doesn't work because it's just so stupidly written and overtly done that you know what's happening is absolute garbage. And one more time, let's not forget the voter fraud. She will not cross that line, you guys. That's the one place she'll stop. It is so laughably dumb. and the overt wokeness in it with smashing the patriarchy. Like I said, there's a line in there where they actually talk about it. It reminded me of the Batman line where they talk about white privileged a-holes, and I almost walked out of the theater on that show because it became so overt at that point. At the beginning of season 4, they weren't even trying to hide their wokeness. They weren't even trying to hide the message. It was just there in full force. In the end, this is a show I would not recommend. It is nasty. It is cruel. It is nihilistic. It is manipulative. It is woke. It is trash. It is something that if you want to walk away from feeling depressed and horrible and bad about life and the evil people winning in the world, then yeah, this is a show you're going to like. For me, I like things with an actual moral compass in it. In the end, this show is nasty, it's cruel, it's ugly, it's nihilistic, and I don't like those types of shows. It's for that reason that I'm giving this show a 1 out of 10, and that's being generous. I will, however, stick to shows that have some sort of moral compass and integrity. Those are the types of shows I like. I'm Joe from Papa Jobo's. Peace.